Hello guys, so I built this cool little LangChain project. This is called the Interrogator. So what it does is it gives you the ability to speak to documents, speak to some YouTube videos, or speak to your favorite podcasts and anything, like literally speak. So let me show you one example. So I've shared the program with this link of YouTube video. This is by Andrew Huberman, some podcast office, but I don't know the name of the guest. I don't know what they are talking about in the podcast, but I'm just gonna ask it about what they are doing in it. Can you tell me what are they talking about and who are the people in this podcast? So as you can see, it identifies my question and start to answer.
In this podcast, Andrew Huberman is hosting a discussion with Dr. Paul Conti about improving relationships. They discuss various aspects of relationships, including romantic relationships, friendships, family relationships, and the relationship with oneself. The focus is on understanding oneself and making adjustments to improve mental health and overall well-being. Dr. Paul Conti is a guest on the podcast and shares his expertise on mental health and relationships. Andrew Huberman is the host of the podcast and facilitates the discussion.
As you can see, we got an idea what this podcast is about, right? Even if you want, you can get more details by asking more questions, which I'm gonna do right now, because I'm gonna ask it about, let's say, mental health and overall well-being of mental health. Okay, let me ask something about that. What would they advise me if to have a really good mental health throughout my life? That's not a perfectly phrased question, but I hope it understands and gives me a decent output. Let's see.
Based on the transcript, the speaker emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and introspection in maintaining good mental health. They suggest asking oneself questions about their emotions, behaviors, and reactions in order to gain insight into their own mental state. They also mention the value of therapy and seeking professional help when needed. Additionally, the speaker mentions the importance of understanding that there may be things about oneself that are unknown and being open to exploring and learning about those aspects. Overall, the advice seems to be centered around self-reflection, seeking support when necessary, and continuously striving for self-improvement.
As you can see, I got to know the information I want, and I saved a lot of time instead of listening to a 3-hour long podcast and trying to figure out what I exactly want from it, right? So now let's see another example. In this, I'm gonna give it another video and ask questions about that. So I'm gonna replace this. I hope I replaced this probably, yeah. So this video is of cricketer Ravi Ashwin. So his interview with Michael Hussey, which he uploaded today, I guess. It's around 50 minutes, but I don't have the time to listen to the whole thing. But what can I do is, I can just let my assistant do that. What are they talking about in this video? Just ask the basic question.
In this video, they are talking about various topics including playing cricket, dealing with pressure, coaching, team meetings, and discussing cricketers like MS Dhoni and Bill Lawry.
Nice. Now I learned that they have talked about MS Dhoni, and I'm an MS Dhoni fan, so I would want to know what Michael Hussey spoke about MS Dhoni, right? So I'm just gonna do that now. Can you tell me more about what they spoke about MS Dhoni?
In the transcript, they spoke about MS Dhoni's calmness, his ability to create a winning environment, his trust in players, his perspective on the game, his treatment of people, and his ability to take pressure off young Indian players. They also mentioned a specific incident where Dhoni mentioned the importance of the Fair Play Award before a match against RCB.
As you can see, I got to know what they spoke about in general in the video, and I just wanted to know what they spoke about Dhoni, and I didn't have to listen to the whole video, and I just got to know what they spoke about Dhoni here, right? Yeah. So let's go through the modules of this project. So this is the main module of the project. This is the brains of the operations. So in this, what we do is we provide the YouTube URL over here. So once providing the YouTube URL, it downloads the transcript of the particular video and then splits it into multiple chunks and vectorizes it. So it creates the word embedding and stores it as a table. So then what this does is this query is the question we speak out to it, right? So from that question, what it does is it makes a similarity search in the table of the different chunks, and then k is the value is the top 4 similarity, let's say. So top k similarity, whichever chunk had the most similarity, the top 4 of those chunks will be taken and they will be appended together with our query to the model. The model we are using here is GPT 3.5 Turbo. So we give the prompt together with the answer that is in the form of the chunks, and this is the template of how you want to answer it. And now ChatGPT gets gives the output for us as text again. Okay, this is the response. We get the response as a text, but how does it speak to us, right? You have the question, how do I speak to it? How does it speak to it? So for that, first let's go to the input module. So we are using speech recognition module for the input. So this module has its own ability to transcribe the audio into text, but this is not as accurate as we need. So what we do is I'm just using this to create a audio file. I'm just using this to capture the audio and then save it as a file as a recorder.wav. Okay, that wave file. And then what we are doing is we are using Whisper. Whisper is OpenAI's model, and this version is open sourced. So what it does is we are using a small model that's more than enough for our thing. So what it does is it converts our audio and transcribes it into text and gives us a final result. This is a text output, string output, and that is what we are seeing here printed over here. The question is, right, this is the final output. This is the output from this. And after this, as we know, it goes through this and gets the output again from ChatGPT API. And how does it convert to voice again? So this is where this comes from. So for this, I'm using PyTTS X3 because I like this voice, that's why. And I can also modify the speed and everything. So I'm using PyTTS X3 and I'm just setting the properties of the voice, the speed and everything, and just passing the text file. See, I'm just passing the text file, text output that I got from ChatGPT, and it speaks it back to me. That's all, guys. This is the project, and I'll give the link of the GitHub repository in the description. Thank you.